Guys, the car is officially sold. We are at an undisclosed location. Ooh, you hear that? What's up guys, DIY Salvage Guy here, and on this channel, we just learn as we go. Today's episode, we're gonna be doing a little bit different thing, and we're gonna be telling you guys what I learned on the 2011 Ford Mustang GT from start to finish and everything in between. So make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys turn on those post notifications, like the video as well, share it with your friends. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys learned anything as well, I'd love to know the feedback that I'm giving you guys. So thank you guys so much. Let's hop into this right now. Alright guys, here is the final build of the Mustang, the final look of it. It came out really well, really happy with it. And this final video is going to be just basically me going over everything that I learned through this build. I'm going to give you guys a quick walk around of it one more time. Tips, tricks, experiences that I had, stuff that I learned along the way, just basically things that I would do differently, and overall what I think of this vehicle. I will be doing a full review of the 2011 Ford Mustang GT as well in a future video, so make sure you guys check that out as well. But for now, let's get started on this video, and I will give you guys everything that I learned with it. Alright guys, so here we are about 6 or 7 months removed from when I first received this vehicle from the Copart auction. I believe I bought it back in February. You guys remember we had snow on the ground, and my videos are not in real time, that way I don't have content lapses. But it is now mid-September, and today is the day that I'm going to be saying goodbye to this vehicle. With that, it's a bit bittersweet, and because of all the things that I learned with it, I really felt attached to this vehicle. So a couple things I want to point out with this is that I learned so much on this build the same way that I learn on everything else. This channel, I learn as I go, and I don't have any prior experience or anything like that. So I try to be as transparent with you guys, the viewers, that as a standard everyday DIY type person, you could do stuff like this. I'll flash some before and after pictures as well, but you guys can see that this build came out extremely well. Now, I'm not going to focus on the flaws, I'm not going to focus on anything like that, because that's part of the process. But what I did learn on this vehicle is that you need to be able to weld. Welding is a very important thing, and you also need to have a frame machine as well. So when you're dealing with things like that, you have to be able to go to a shop. Maybe not welding, but for a frame machine to be able to do what we need to do, we need to be able to strap it up, we need to be able to hold it into place, and we need to be able to enact a lot of forces on that vehicle in order to pull the frame back out. Now this vehicle had very small frame damage. It was pushed in maybe about 1.5 inches. We tried to do it. You guys remember that video where we strapped it between 2 trees and we tried to do the best we could with it, but it didn't work out the way that we wanted it to. So we brought it over to the shop, and Wayne's Auto Body nailed it. They did a great job on it, and we really had a solid platform to continue this build on. What I also learned is that dealing with extremely large parts such as bumpers, they're expensive, but the main component to that is the shipping aspect of it. We bought a part down in Georgia, and we had to have freight shipping. Thankfully we had the truck at the time, but we had to go and pick it up at a freight location in order to do that. So that added an extra $200 to this build just for shipping. Had I been able to source it closer, it would have been a lot cheaper. Now, what I also learned with this build is that Mustangs are a lot of fun. They come stock with right around 420 horsepower, give or take, and they move. They really do. And I'm kind of surprised by this build, the fact that the car itself actually has such good traction. Right now I have 255s in the back. I have Nitto's summer tires, so maybe that helps a little bit. But I get on this thing pretty well, and it just sticks to the ground. There's no issues. There's no traction misses or anything like that. So maybe it's a sense of the tires. So throughout this process, I learned a lot. As I'm going to recap, we learned how to wrap. But before I learned how to wrap, I learned how to mess up a paint job. And you guys have seen me paint on the A7, you've seen me paint on the S5, and it came out pretty well. I've had some issues here or there, but maybe because I was doing the entire vehicle, it was a little bit tougher for me to kind of do. I also think that it was an issue with the paint gun itself. So before this video ends, I'll show you the Mustang's final parting gift to me in order to move on to the next build and the next series and stuff like that. So we painted. We had everything the same way that we always did. What we did was we had our cooling system down, we had the garage completely cleaned up, we also had drapes down, Dexter style, to make sure that we got no overspray, and we had it really clean, but it didn't work. We had issues, maybe the gun was dirty, but that led to this. I've always wanted to wrap a vehicle. I thought that they look amazing. It's something that I think is a really good look. You can change the look on the vehicle just by basically snapping your fingers and doing whatever you want. It doesn't take the prep of painting or anything like that. What you need to do is basically you're going to remove all the trim, all the removable components. You're going to clean it up really well, and then you're going to take a clay bar to it. Did not do that on this vehicle. I sanded it down after the paint job was really bad, and I learned from that mistake as well. I wouldn't have been able to wrap it after the paint job anyway, because the paint needs to set for about 6 months. So that was my only option in order to do what I needed to do with that. So what I wound up learning is that you need to have a perfectly smooth surface, and that is tough to achieve when you are working on a used vehicle. When you wrap a vehicle, a lot of times you see these brand new cars wrapped, and you're like, why would you wrap a brand new vehicle? Like, the paint is perfect, it's pure, and that's the exact reason. The paint that you have on that vehicle at the moment it leaves the dealership, the first moment you take it, is the best time to wrap a vehicle, because it retains that luster and it makes it extremely easy to wrap. You don't have to worry about any paint imperfections, and the best part is that any rock chips, anything that hits the wrap is going to preserve the paint. So the paint, when you go to sell that vehicle or when you're tired of the wrap and you want to change, that paint is always going to be pure, and that's the reason why people wrap vehicles. It's probably about a $4,000 job to wrap a vehicle. I got the wrap for about 350 bucks from Vivid Vinyl. Put a link down below. They're not sponsors, but I do appreciate the stuff that they do and the wraps that they provide, because I did enjoy this. And they have these 20% off coupons, so that's what really enabled me to pull the trigger on this in order to say that this is what I wanted to do. What I also learned on this is that it's okay to ask for help, and what I mean by that is that the body shop had to come into play here, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without Wayne's Auto Body, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without T-Man himself. So big shout out to you again for coming out here, showing me that the subscribers that I have are phenomenal, that you guys really want to help me learn and grow, and you guys are willing to learn alongside me, because so I wouldn't have been able to do it without T, because you could watch these videos, you learn how people do it over the internet. YouTube is a great tool. Hopefully you guys are learning something here or there from me, but until you do it yourself and see how that wrap actually lays down, it's tough, because you don't see how the fingers, so when stuff gets bunched up like this, you need to know how to pull in order to get them to be perfectly straight. See here how you get like these wrinkles here, and when you get that in a wrap, it's extremely hard to get out. So you have to be able to read that, and without him I would not have been able to do that. So thank you very much, and thank you to my subscribers for supporting me enough to be able to say, you know what, this guy is really nice, he's really awesome, and I want to help him. So I think that that's a testament to this channel and a testament to all of you. So thank you all for being here and supporting me, and T, thank you especially to you as well. Now, another thing that we learned is that the quick jacks are really good, but they don't provide all the access that we need. When we were doing the exhaust on this would have been probably about a 30-minute job had I been able to get the exhaust on and off in the easy nature that I wanted to. I needed to kind of finagle it and move it around and everything, because you have to get the exhaust up and over the axle. I'll show some pictures here, guys. But had I had a lift where I could just take the exhaust down and basically just lift it and bend it, it would have been a really quick job. But we were able to do what we needed to do. which also serves the purpose of saying that I need to upgrade to a bigger shop. So eventually I'm going to be doing that. I think I'm going to start a Patreon or something like that, so maybe I can try to get these builds moving a little quicker so that I can, the shop that I want to build is going to be in my backyard. I'm going to make it like a 40 by 40. I want to get a paint booth on one side, I want to get a frame machine, I want to get 2 lifts so I can work on this stuff and I can keep giving you guys better and better content every single day. And this build has helped me segue into that a lot faster. This car is also the first one that I replaced airbags on, and it was extremely easy. So the driver's side airbag blew on this. It took 2 seconds to repair, and I also had my first sponsor with it from myairbags.com. Big shout out to them for sponsoring this build and helping me get through the parts that I had a little bit difficult kind of understanding. You take out the seat belts, they are blown, and you send them out to them as well. They repair the internals of it, you put it back in, they reset your control module, your airbag control module, and you're good with that. And all you have to do is just plug it back in and you're pretty much set. So big shout out to them for supporting the build and supporting the channel and helping the little guy that doesn't have too many subscribers right now and is still struggling to be able to find his footing. Another thing I learned on this vehicle is that tie rods come in different sizes. So for this vehicle, if it is a GTCS with the 19-inch wheels, you need shorter tie rods, which would, I guess, in essence, lower your turning radius, as opposed to having longer tie rods for the other one, for the 17-inch wheels, if you put it on this. So your turning radius is going to turn a lot more with those, and we wound up rubbing on the inside frame, so we changed that as well. Suspension components were super easy on this build, but all in all, this build was a colossal success. Just to recap real quick, this is your standard Mustang GT CS edition. With that, this is not your standard grille, but I love the look of the Mustang GT grille. I think that the fog lights up there look awesome, and the lower balance with the actual fog lights themselves for the actual CS edition of this makes it look really well. Then we went with the S550 front headlights. That was an ode to you guys because you guys told me that you like the S550 better. I personally like the S197 a lot better, and because of that, I did a little bit of what I liked, I did a little bit of what you liked, and we came out with this awesome, awesome look. I'm gonna give you guys a quick unlock of it. You see the headlights flash, they kind of come out like that, and that's how I drive. Those are my daytime running lights, and I think it looks awesome. So, one final walk around of the vehicle, and we are going to say goodbye to this car. We are going to bid it farewell, send it off to its new owner, who has started watching the channel. So if you do make it to this video, person unknown that is buying this vehicle, big shout out to you. Please stay in touch. Let me know how the vehicle is doing. I did my best on it, and I hope that it retains the value the way that I really wanted it to, and I hope that there are no issues or anything like that wind up coming up after this. And you guys got to see it from start to finish, how it looked, how it turned out. And I also want to hear from you guys. What would you have done differently on this build? Would you have done everything the same way that I did? Or what's the overall outcome of what you expected from start to finish on this? Did I meet your expectations? All right guys, last walk up to the Mustang. Get rid of this thing, on to the next. Hopefully it'll make this guy as happy as it made me through the whole process. Let's hop into this. Let's get one more start with it, drive it up there, and say our farewells. This car was awesome, really enjoyed it. I loved every second of this build. It was really, really a great time. Got to relive my childhood, but I also realized that the childhood is not as good as adulthood, and you guys are gonna help me blow those expectations out of the water. All right, so give you guys a quick update. We are still driving. We got about another 20 minutes to go. We put the new tires on here. You guys might remember that we had a little bit of a shimmy on the front end, and it turned out that the issue was the tires. So between everything that we did, it's feeling good. So this guy should be getting a very nice car. Very excited to give it up, and on to the next build. So almost there. And you know, we'll see if he wants to be in the video or anything like that, but
blast this car. This car was a lot of fun. Catch you guys soon. Guys, car is officially sold. We are at an undisclosed location. Ooh, you hear that? That's the last time I'm going to hear this car live. He's going to enjoy it very, very much. Big shout out to him. Don't be a stranger. Stay in touch. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you guys can understand that I'm very transparent with this stuff and try to be so that you guys fully understand that these builds are perfect. Not perfect, but they're very, very good. DIY Salvage Guy, I'm going to give you guys one of the last parting gifts that this vehicle has given me, so we can move on with this channel. So hopefully we're not forced into wrapping the vehicle again because we messed something up. So I had mentioned that the paint gun might have been the issue with the build, with the paint job. So I went out and I splurged a little bit, and I got the top of the line from Harbor Freight because I buy everything from there. And I went with the Black Widow, the HTE, and I should be able to do some good work with this in the future. So big thank you to the Mustang for basically giving me this as a parting gift so that hopefully I don't have to deal with this again. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for being here, for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for watching these videos. Make sure you guys like, comment. How did the build turn out? Are you guys sad to see it go? I know I am, but I need to sell this vehicle in order to keep growing the channel, to give you guys better and better builds so that we can hopefully get to the point where it supports itself and I don't have to sell this and I can just go give this away to you guys. So we're going to be delivering this. I will show the journey as we go up there, but for privacy purposes, I'm not going to show the deal or the person who's buying it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this build, enjoyed this series. Thank you guys for being here. Subscribe, smash that like button. Hope you guys enjoyed it.